Hello everybody, it's Daniel here, and welcome to Showdown Brawlers, competitive Pokemon battling over the next couple of days. We're not strictly tied to the Sunday this week. So this is a new format that I wanted to try, and essentially it's going to allow me to have a bit of a more in-depth look at a team by providing more example battles of it in action. Because I feel like with a couple of the teams I've had over the weeks, I don't really get to showcase them all that well, and I kind of have to promise at the end, well, for some of them anyway, I have to kind of promise that, I swear it's good, I swear it works better than this. So this format's going to try and counter that because I'm going to be doing a lot more battles, and just trying to upload the lot as well. Because there is going to be more battles, I'm going to be uploading it in several parts, and you'll be seeing those over the next couple of days. So let me know what you think of this new format, because this is the first for Pokemon. But anyways, let's dive on into the team here, and this is a return of my anti-meta team that I made just before the release of X and Y, I believe. So it's got some strange things on it, so it's actually a really good one to start with for this new format. So let's have a look at it. So, Choice Scarf Mew. That in itself, it's not too unusual, but this is a specially based Transforming Choice Scarf Mew with Volt Switch. So most Choice Scarf Mews are normally a physically based set and they run U-turn. This is the special set, and it has Transform. It looks a lot like a gimmick, and to an extent, yes it is. I can't really deny it when you have Transform on the Mew that it isn't a bit gimmicky. But this actually works. This is the thing, this set actually works. Transform catches so many people off guard, because it's the last thing you would expect on a Mew set. And Volt Switch in itself catches a surprising amount of people off guard as well, because most people do expect U-turn. They've come to kind of understand that. But this just catches people off guard. It works surprisingly well. Synchronize is also kind of handy because a lot of people generally try to burn Mews. So Synchronize, essentially you get it to burn off on your opponent with only a little bit of health loss per turn on yourself. So it's not that bad really. And Psychic and Aura Sphere just to kind of hit them hard. Standard attacking moves. But all in all, it's a pretty good Mew set. I'm really happy with this. Next up we have three Pokemon that kind of form the sort of a half of the core of this team. Because there's no real defense in this team. It's just kind of a couple of things together. And defense kind of comes through typing and whatnot. But this, I suppose I would call this the core, and it's this Landorus, Slowbro, and Ferrothorn. Now, the Slowbro is a Trick Room set, as you can see here. There's nothing too new about this. I think I've used this exact set before. But it's a special attack and HP. It's got Trick Room, Ice Beam, Scald, Flamethrower, and it's just bulky as hell, and it deals a lot of damage. Ferrothorn kind of gets benefit from having the Trick Room because it's Ferrothorn. It's slow as hell as it is, and it has access to the Gyro Ball, which on the Trick Room is kind of terrifying because you're hitting them for a lot of damage in the face. This is a Sword Stance Ferrothorn, by the way, so as soon as you set up with this, this is really strong, and it's really bulky as well. The EVs are done in such a way that they kind of optimize each stat, max attack of course, then HP, and it really a fair bit of special defense. The reason that is there is it lets it live hidden power fires from things that essentially don't have stabbed fire moves. So it's quite handy to have that. It actually does come in handy. But it pairs really well with the Slowbro, and the power of these things are the only real things in this team that actually use Trick Room. So it's a bit anti-meta in that sense, but well, the nice thing is with this Trick Room as well, the team's not reliant on it, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And it's just these two things here. They do greatly appreciate it, but they function without it as well. So it's kind of nice. Landorus here then, Intimidate, a bit of a bulky set. I've gone for max speed and then taken a bit of out of attack and just put it into HP. And this is primary utility Landorus, Landorus Tyrian form. So I've got EQ, U-turn, Smackdown, and Stealth Rock. Smackdown is there because people panic when you use that move on them. And it's kind of hilarious to watch unfold. I've had a lot of games where someone will switch in a Gengar or something, and then I just smack it down to the ground, and then it's vulnerable to Earthquake. And what do? You have to switch instantly. And you can just kind of start smacking down loads of various things on their team. And it's just kind of hilarious to watch the chaos unfold. It's not expected, and it does kind of work all around as well, because in general you'd have Stone Edge on Landorus Tyrian. That's what I would have run instead of it. So this sacrifices half the power of Stone Edge. But to make up for that, you can hit flying types with Earthquake, which I think is pretty good. Skarmory, this thing just kind of counters them, which is fantastic. So, last two Pokemon on the team. One of them's a Mega Tyranitar with Dragon Dance, Stone Edge Crunch, Brick Break. Absolutely nothing new there, and I know I use them too much, but this team kind of needed it. Last thing on the team is a Togekiss, and this is a really weird set, but the idea for this came that I need essentially a Fairy type Rotom. And this is the best that I could come up with. So I'm essentially using Togekiss as I would like kind of a Rotom Wash set. Insofar as I have Trick, a status move, and then just 2 attacking moves. And it's kind of just that. Like my EV spread is the same that I do for Rotom, where it's kind of just like 252 HP, 156 special attack, and then 100 defense. Just gives it a good bit of general bulk. And then just Air Slash and Fire Blast the hit. Nice thing is as well, it does have Searing Grace. It means that we do get the occasional flinch. Don't rely on them, of course. It doesn't actually need them. It's just a good damaging move in general. And Fire Blast as well. Again, just a lot of damage. And it's just kind of a nice set, really. It's like Trick, for some reason, has fallen out of fashion in X and Y. I really don't understand it, but this just cripples, like, one Pokemon on your opponent's team. Like, it just ruins it for them. Provided you get it off on the right thing, of course. But it's kind of fantastic in that sense, because you're essentially, like, they're one Pokemon down just because you used one move. Like, get Trick off on, like, say, a Wobbuffet or something. What the hell is it gonna do now? Get it off on a Blissey, Chansey, there's loads of things. Loads of uses for it. And it can make use of the Choice Specs itself, which is kind of nice. So, yeah, it really is just like a fairy-type Rotom. It's a bit of a weird one, but it does kind of work. You have to trust me on that, hence this format. We'll hopefully get to see some use for it. All in all, that's the team. It's a bit of an odd one, it's an anti-meta, so let's dive on into the first of our games. Okay, and what are we up against this time? Sticky Web, Violite, Toxic Orb, Mega Charizard. Okay, right. And a really cool shiny Greninja. Oh, right. Well, it's probably going to lead with the Galvantula here. So what are we going to want to lead with just to kind of stop that in its face? Actually, most of my team's not going to mind the Sticky Web all that much, but I guess it's just going to kind of be a bit annoying. We could lead with Togekiss, but I don't think we're actually going to be faster, and he could just kind of Thunder us, which is not going to help us all that much. God, we may be able to set up with our Ferroton quite early, just if it wasn't that Mega Charizard there. We would be able to do that. Let's just lead straight with our Landorus, and I guess we can just get our own rocks up. There's not too much to fear here. So we might as well just go for it. Because he does have an Excadrill here, but that's going to be the only spinner on his team. That's the obvious spinner on his team as well. And we do actually have knockoff. Decided Smackdown in case he has a balloon or something like that. So actually, just the fact that we went for Stealth Rock there and the Earthquake is kind of obvious this turn. I actually am going to go for the Smackdown, just in case he switches into something else. And okay, right, he's just going to go into his Porygon 2 here. Well, that has Ice Beam, so it's going to have Ice Beam, Tri-Attack, T-Bolt. That's the standard set that these things have. So, honestly, Tyranitar kind of walls that, so we might as well get him in. Speed Drop is not going to be too bad. We do get the Sand up as well, which is nice, and we can essentially get our Mega Evolution off and just do something here. So, what are we going to want to do is the question. We could... I don't really want the Dragon Dance here, because depending on what nature that Breloom is, like if it's his Jolly nature, I feel like it will be able to outspeed us after the Dragon Dance, like at neutral speed. Breloom's not the fastest thing in the world, but it would come close. So instead I'm just going to Mega Evolve, I'm just going to get a Brick Break off. He's actually just going to go for the Recover here. Okay, right. So that tells me that he may even stay in this turn and just try and get another Recover off and just try and wear out the Sandstorm. Judging by the amount of damage it did, he hasn't really got any reason to do otherwise, so we are kind of safe just to go for this Dragon Dance here. He is just going to go for a Tri-Attack off on us, that is fine. Right, so it did 42% last time. It's going to do 61% this time. Provided he doesn't recover, this should kill him this turn. So let's just go straight for another one, even if he does recover. Yeah, this essentially assures now that this turn he will go down, so that is fine for us. Do I want to Dragon Dance again? I'm trying to look at the team. I guess if I Dragon Dance again, it depends if that Excadrill is a Sand Rush or a Mold Breaker. I'm figuring that it's probably Mold Breaker though, because that's what most run this gen. He doesn't actually have something to initiate Sand on his team. I guess I should just keep going for Brick Break though, the reason being that they actually just Greninja, like even after Dragon Dance, I'm probably not going to outspeed that. Just because it is a Greninja, and he's just going to go into his Excadrill there. Sure enough, it is a Mold Breaker set. Okay, right, so that's fine. Well, we've got absolutely nothing to fear here. Oh wait. He's actually, yeah, he's just, sorry, I was just thinking for a sec there, what's he actually going to do? He's more than likely going to rapid spin. It makes the most sense for him to do. So yeah, we should go into our Landros here. The nice thing is we get a bit of a pivot going here, because we can just go straight for the U-turn, and if we switch to something else we get the switch. If not, we break the balloon. So it essentially means that we're going to accomplish something here with Landros either way. Provided he doesn't go for a random hidden power ice or something of that nature. So we just kind of go for that off on him. And I honestly don't want to switch right away. I don't mind staying in on this thing, particularly if he's just going for Iron Heads. So let's just go for a smackdown this turn. Knock him to the ground. That's going to do a pitiful amount of damage, dear God. And he is going to spin away the rocks. Alright, that is fine. Because I know that I'm faster than him, and I can just set them up again, because he's not going to rapid spin this turn, surely. So let's just go for it again. Let's just have him on the field, and he's probably going to switch out to, I imagine, the Charizard. The question is now, will we actually be faster than the default Charizard? Honestly, I think we might be, because they've only got, like, what, base 100 speed, isn't it? I think that's what default, well, Charizard has by default, something like that. We might just be faster just because of our nature, so, well, it's definitely worth a shot. We just got rocks up again, so that's fine. We can just EQ now, take out the Excadrill. Now that's up to stay. That means that Charizard is just not going to appreciate coming in. The Galvantula as well is just going to take a rather hefty hit. And now he's going to go into his Greninja. So, okay, right, well, he's definitely going to go for the Ice Beam this turn. Honestly, I think that Ferrothorn is just the best thing to do with this, considering we have special defense investment, and we can essentially block the Hydro Pump, Ice Beam, and the Dark Pulse if he wants to go for that. Please don't burn. Oh god. That's always the fear with Greninja when they just pull out the skull like that. Okay, he's not going to burn though, so that is fine. Speed is going to be lower, but that's really not a problem. What do we want to do here? Apparently kind of wants to set up with Sword Stance. Honestly, yeah, I think I'll just go for it this turn, because if he switches directly into Breloom, then he's not going to be able to hurt us. If he switches into Galvantula, he's probably not going to be able to take us out with a single Bug Buzz, surely, so that's kind of fine. So this turn, yeah, we can just Gyro Ball, and that should do an awful lot of damage. Oh, okay, right, he's got Hidden Power Fire. That's fine anyway, that's still not going to do near enough damage. And just judging by the skull, now that wasn't very effective. So if he goes to Ice Beam, whew, that depends on max min damage now if he goes for an Ice Beam with his Greninja, if it's actually going to kill us. I guess we can kind of afford to stay in though, because we've got like quite an advantage going here, and it will just hurt him with the rocks and the Life Orb recoil, and we'll essentially get him down to a position where our Mew should be able to just Volt Switch in on him. Or he's just going to go straight into Charizard here. Okay, right. Right, well, we definitely don't want to stay in here. That's probably a bad idea. I'm guessing, just judging the team, that this is the physically based Charizard. Yeah, I honestly think this is going to be the physically based one, so let's go into Landorus. Let's get an Intimidate off. Let's watch him Mega Volt. No, it's actually going to be the specially based one. Okay, that's a bit unfortunate, but the nice thing is now that we can go into our Mega Tyranitar, we can get our Sandstorm up, and that essentially stops him now, because his only attacking moves are probably going to be in the form of Flamethrower, Solar Beam, and Air Slash. He could be sappy and run an EQ, but it's probably not going to do enough damage anyway with the Intimidate off of him now, so there is that to consider. Do I want to predict the switch to something? Well, I might as well just go for a Stone Edge. I guess if he switches... Oh, wow, he went for Focus Blast there. I actually didn't expect that. Focus missed, though, thankfully. So we don't have to worry about it. And now he's just going to go straight into Breloom. I actually didn't expect that at all. Well, I was saying there we would have been fine for just went for a Stone Edge, because we got damage off on something. Now he's going to go into this Breloom. Oh, we could do something... We can do something evil here. Oh my god, go for the Spore, please, go for the Spore. Oh no, he's going to go for the Mach Punch. That just would have been evil if we pulled that off, because then he'd be locked into it. Okay, right, that's fine. Now he's just going to go straight for a standard Mach Punch. Honestly, I kind of have to go for Aura Sphere here, just because he has Greninja. If I go for Psychic, then, like, yeah, he's just going to be able to block that, so let's just go for Aura Sphere instead. It deals a nice amount of damage anyway. He's just going to go straight for a Rock Tomb. Lower my speed even more, dear god. We can just go straight for another Orison. Oh wow, he's actually... Oh yeah, because he's going to be faster than us now, of course. Despite us having the choice scarf. We do actually manage to just live that. Sand taking us out, of course, there, but he did manage to just make it out of that and take that thing out. And now he's only got Greninja left as well, so we can just kind of clear up here. We've got our Slowbro here. It's going to be able to take a hit no matter what he does. And we can honestly just hurt him in return. We should probably just go for Trick Room, because if Scald doesn't kill that way, that means Ferrothorn is essentially guaranteed to kill him with a Gyro Ball. So it just makes more sense to do it that way. So he's just going to go straight for the... Whoa, Jesus Christ! Right, I did not expect that to kill. I actually did not expect that to kill. That is kind of bad, because now looking at our team, if a Dark Pulse killed Slowbro like that, then an Ice Beam is probably going to be able to kill our Togekiss. So this means we're going to have to start playing about it. So we're going to want to get the Sand up first. And now we're going to kind of bait him to go into the Scald and essentially waste some Life Orb Recall off on this Ferrothorn now, and paired with the Sandstorm. Oh god, this is going to be cutting it close. This is really going to be cutting it close. Okay, right, what are we going to want to do next? How are we going to want to play about this? Essentially, he's got 4 more attacks left in him. Actually, no, sorry, only 3, because Sandstorm's going to take off the remaining 10% in that time. So he's got 3 attacks left in him. He's not going to go for an Ice Beam this round, so we can't just go straight into Togekiss, I feel, as he actually goes for the Dark Pulse. Okay, yep, so that ensures us the game now, because we still got 3 Pokemon for him to take out, and Sandstorm is going to whittle him down just a little too fast for him. So that is just going to work well for us, and yeah, we can just kind of clean up from here. So if we just keep switching about, we can just continue to whittle him down, provided he doesn't have something completely random or weird. We should be fine here, so that's just going to whittle him down the last little bit there. We still have enough turns of Sandstorm, and the next hit is going to take him out, so we can just kind of go into a Togekiss, fodder it off with an Air Slash here, and that is going to be GG as we take him out with Life Orb Recoil. There we go. So I got to demonstrate a couple of things for that this team works, at least. Battles with this team go on quite a bit. That's something I've noticed. There's nothing here that really packs like a really powerful punch or anything. I suppose the only thing really is Mega Tyranitar if you manage to get the Dragon Dance up. But outside of that, like, it's very much just kind of like whittling and chipping away and just bruising. But the nice thing is that despite it taking a while, this team does come out with more wins than losses on average. So it does actually work in that sense. So let's move on to another game.